What's up, Bear Nation? It's Bear with BearIndependent.com, but you already knew that because you're here watching this video. It's episode 3 in our MAG mini-series mutual assistance group. Yes. We've talked about deploying your MAG. We've talked about training your MAG. We've talked about how to put together a MAG meeting. Something that we should address. That was the fire made that noise. Yeah, there's a fire behind me. Something we should address is, why does your MAG exist in the first place? And is everybody who is in your MAG in agreement as to what your mission statement is? This is important. This is something that you should discuss openly and perhaps frequently with the members of your MAG. You should know where people stand on this. Hey, I'm coming to your place. Cool. With who? When? Why? How? With what? All this stuff matters. You know, we have people who have stuff here. We have people who don't have stuff here. I have places that I have stuff at, and I have places I don't have stuff at. It's kind of 4 quadrants right there, right? Coming with nothing, coming with something, going with nothing, going with something. Boy, that fire's hot. And that sun is brutal. You need to know what's the mission, and beyond surviving the zombie apocalypse, how? How are you going to do that? We'll just come back to our number of 20 people. How are you going to feed 20 people? If we did basic math on that, 24 buckets per person, that's 480 buckets. We'll just round it to 500 buckets for easy math, say 30 pounds per bucket. So that's what, 15,000 pounds of food? Okay. And that sounds insurmountable, but it's totally doable. It's only 7.5 tons of food. It's doable. Very doable. Especially if you watch for the sales. And I get this question a lot too. People have said, Bear, how did you find wheat? The answer? Call grain silos. Call granaries. Google granary and your zip code, or the nearest large town. Here's what we're gonna do. Because, oh no, coffee down. Coffee is hard down. Mucho bettero. Now the sun is not quite in my eyes. Google granary in your area. Talk to farmers. Reach out to people. Network. That's how we found grain, was networking. And then once we found it, we stayed on top of it. And you can get 10,000 pounds of wheat on a Ryder rental truck. Ask me how I know. Well, that's 5 tons of wheat. That's a step in the right direction if you got 20 people to feed. And you know what? It's not all that expensive. It was like 3,200 bucks for 50-pound sacks of wheat. I mean, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Now, can I afford to spend 3,200 bucks on wheat? No, but when you have multiple families involved, now all of a sudden it gets much more attainable. Getting back to mission statement. We'll say we're gonna have 5 families are gonna come here for a total of 6 families on property. Cool. How? How are they gonna get here? Their vehicles. Can they? How far away? Have they actually done the math? And see, this is between the two of y'all as to how much responsibility you take for their ability to get here. There's people that I have a real vested interest in them arriving here if they need to get here. There's other people that it's like, if you can get here, cool. If you can't, you know, I don't want anybody to suffer and die, but if you can't, and here's a basic rule, we're not coming to look for you. And I don't expect you to come look for me. So we all understand that going in. I am not coming to look for you. If after, you're supposed to be here within 10 days, and after 10 days I don't see you, I'm not coming to look for you. And if you're supposed to see me after 10 days, I don't expect you to come looking for me. Now, if I radio in and I'm 4 days away and my leg's broken, maybe we can arrange something. But do not send an expedition out unknowingly to search for me with no intel and expose yourselves to undue harm. Not doing that. And so I'm not saying those are your rules, but those are my rules, okay? But mission statement. We're gonna survive the zombie apocalypse. Cool. How? Well, for us, the big answer is agriculture, right? So you gotta have some food here. But then you've also gotta contribute to the growing of more food here, because eventually the food that you have and the food that I have is gonna run out. So what are your agricultural aspirations? Getting back to the militant farmer concept, it's important that you can run both a shovel and a rifle, because while we definitely need the rifle for protection, the chances are that we never have to squeeze the trigger, especially out here. I think a lot of y'all don't understand it when I say population density matters. In fact, Kyle from Survival Prepping for Normal People did a video on his Patreon page recently. He came up to give us a hand on the Bethany House Grindstone mission, and which is our charitable organization for those who are like, huh? Yeah. And he shot a video on his way back home. He lives in Texas, along the banks of a river in Oklahoma. And he said, you know, I see what Bear's talking about when he says, yeah, out here, you know, population density is much different. And it is. It's not that we don't have people that we don't need to be worried about, but we have far less of them. And so getting back to the likelihood of pressing a trigger, out here, it's much lower. But it's still 100% guaranteed that we got to eat. Just like y'all, it's 100% guaranteed you've got to eat. And so what are we going to do as part of our mission statement as a MAG to fulfill that need? We're all going to have to sleep. Who's going to sleep where? A way to do it is to put one family per bedroom in your hard-sided structures. Okay, we can do that here. Is it comfortable? No, but it can be done. If we do that, the people who come need to bring some stuff with them, right? Basic sleep kit. Do you have provisions in your bug out kit for basic sleep kit for you and your people? You see how this all kind of ties together? The why is obvious. The location of the people bugging out is untenable for whatever reason. How much intelligence can they gather while they are on location there to bring back to us? And can it be as actionable as possible so we get the best picture of what's going on where they are, because that will inform our situation here. What are they running from? Why? What does the threat actually look like? Is it a credible threat? Where did you hear this from? So forth, so on. Right? So actionable intel there. The how is probably going to be a car. The who, how many people are you bringing? See, this gets tricksy because a lot of us are known preppers, right? So many of us have heard, I'm coming to your house. Well, if you're in the process of running out the front door to bug out to my place and your cousin and his ex-wife show up at your house and they're like, yeah, we're going with you. You are not bringing your cousin and his ex-wife here. I see a toddler walking around unsupervised on the back porch. This will end well. So who's coming? Have you had that conversation with the people in your group? Don't bring unknowns to my house. Whether you think they're friendly or not doesn't mean that I think they're friendly. And if you bring them here and they can't stay, now what? They know where we're at. That's a problem, right? So don't bring unknowns here, meaning that you need to have a plan for all those unknowns. It needs to be clearly understood. You don't come to my place. You are not coming to my house. It doesn't matter what you say. You're not coming to my house. So all these things all kind of play in together, right? The who, the why, the how, the when. What are your bug out indicators? When are you bugging out? Holy cow, that fire is hot. Toddler, what are you doing? Hey, that fire is really hot. You stay away from it, okay?
No, but how did it get so big?
I put wood on it. That's how it got so big. Oh. Y'all should go swing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good plan. When? When are you bugging out? When are the people bugging out to you? What are the bug out indicators? Have a list of bug out indicators. When there's rioting in the streets 3 towns away, we're going. When there is coronavirus found in the next county over, we're going. When this D-bag political person wins this county seat, we're going. When the Panamanian paratroopers land in my backyard, we're going. When food scarcity gets to the point that half of the shelves at Walmart are empty, we're going. Whatever your indicators are, you need to know what they are, and then you need to monitor them. You can't monitor them if you don't know what your indicators are. So you need to put together your bug out indicators first, and they need to be relative to you. See, that's the thing. You need to narrow your vision to what's relative to you in your actual area of operation, so that when these things happen, you can monitor them and act appropriately, because it matters. We'll just say, there's an invasion coming and they land in California. Okay, well, I'm not in California. That matters, but it doesn't matter that much to me yet. If they get into Western Oklahoma, boy, I'm really paying attention now. They get into Central Oklahoma, I'm definitely paying attention, and I'm probably leaving at this point. I'm not gonna be in Eastern Oklahoma. If they're working from the West Coast to the East Coast, I'm not gonna be in Eastern Oklahoma by the time they get to where I am. See what I mean? So the relativity matters, and you need to decide what are those things that are actually relative to you and your survival. So when you're gonna bug out, right? How you're gonna bug out, who you're bugging out with, just using this bug out scenario, why you're bugging out, situation is untenable, how you're bugging out. Okay, all that gets back to the mission statement. Now you're here. It's time to actually do the things. Have we trained together as a group? Do we know that Bob is kind of a jerk when he's on short sleep and he smokes and he didn't bring any smokes with him and we can't get any more? So what provisions do we have to deal with that? Nicorette anyone? So forth and so on. The mission statement for the group matters, and you should use that mission statement to inform everything you all do as a group going forward, because it informs the how, it informs the why, it informs the when, it definitely informs the who. Okay? You get that down. Whenever you feel like your group is getting off task, well, we started out training stop the bleed and pressure canning and basic marksmanship, and now all we do is sit around and pontificate on conspiracy theories over coffee every time the mag gets together. Good, you can point back to the mission statement and say, y'all, this is why we do this. Are our actions actually contributing to the success of the mission? If they're not, we need to change the mission statement or change our actions. Let's put it to a vote. Or if Bob started out really hardcore and now he's not hardcore anymore, yo, Bob, here's our mission statement. You are read in on this. You understand why we are doing this. This is your warning. We need you to get more serious about this because you are a vital member to the team. Bob, we can't do it without you. Bob, I need you bought in on this, Bob. Otherwise, maybe we need to make a change in personnel, Bob. Right? It gives you an unchanging reference point as you navigate these relationships, because that's what a MAG is. A mutual assistance group is a series of relationships, all predicated on the need of the group. We need to survive. I need to know that there's some kind of continuity, that if I get shot in the forehead, that somebody will take care of my kids. Okay? I need to know that. And on some level, everybody that we do life with needs to know the same for their situation, that somebody will steward all of the blessings that they've been giving charge over when they shuffle off this mortal coil. Because that's really what this comes down to, is who's going to see my people through this if something bad happens to me. So having a mission statement and agreeing on a mission statement as a group keeps people focused on that. How does this contribute to the livelihood and protection of my people if something should happen to me? And what can I do in the interim to contribute to the livelihood and protection of all of us right now? Mission statement for the MAG for SHTF. Click the baby bear. Shalom, y'all.